guys, today I'm going to be making a craft. I'm going to be making small bags such as this one and some backpacks for small dolls such as Calico Critters. Now you could also make this design a bit bigger for maybe an American Girl doll or Barbie, and you just would have to make the design a little bigger. This craft is super simple, so if you're not very crafty or just want something a little easier, then this craft is for you. You are going to need fabric, embroidery floss, did I say that right? I'm not really sure, or string like this, some needles, and a pair of scissors. To make a bag, first take your fabric and you want to fold it, and the more you fold it, the longer the bag's going to be. So I'm going to make my bag about this big. Now, cut to size. It's a little difficult to cut fabric with these tiny scissors. There we go. And this is how big my bag's going to be, so that's about good. Now, take your embroidery floss and I got one pretty big. And thread your needle. If it gets a little fluffy on the end, you could just try twisting it. It should go through. So the way I tie a knot on this is I just match up the ends. Oops, that's not very matched up. So try your best to match up the ends. Then I wrap it around my finger, bring this part over, and through the loop. Oh, and you've got yourself a knot. Well, needles going around everywhere. Okay, now I'm just going to trim this a little bit. And we can get started. So, first thing you're going to want to do is start up on the little bent corner. Put your needle through. That did not go through. There we go. And pull until the knot's at the end. And then go back through the other side. And I don't really think it matters too much of the stitch you use. I'm just doing an in and out stitch. And just continue this process until you get to the top of the fold. Now this next step is why I chose to use embroidery floss instead of a needle and thread. Well, I'm still using a needle. So now we're going to bring this onto the other side. Scooch it down a little bit. A lot of it. Here. Maybe we'll do about here. And so it's gonna look more like this. It's gonna be a purse. And so I thought that this would be more thicker, so it would be more like a strap on the purse. So to make that strap, you're just going to go to this right here is going to be the top of the bag. So we're just going to bring it onto the other side and then pull it through enough that this is how big you're going to want the handle to be. Or you can make it bigger depending on what you want to use it for. So for example, if you want to use it so it could go around their head, and maybe this would be a little more. If you want it to fit so it could go like this, then you're going to want a bigger handle. But if you want it to be smaller, so it could go in their hands, then that's up to you. So I'm going to stick a little bit more like this, so more of like a handbag. And now we're going to do what we did on this side and just keep going all, I never can get this through both layers. It never works. And you just keep doing this all the way down. Now you got to make sure you don't pull it so much that this comes undone. So just make sure you don't pull so that doesn't happen. See, if I keep pulling, that happens. And then if you realize that happening, just pull it a little bit so it could go back to the length you want. Now when you get towards the end, you want to tie your knot. So just go in and then don't pull all the way. So you have this huge loop, and then go in again, but go through the loop and pull. I don't know if I did that right actually. I'm not really that good at sewing, as you could tell, and it should not. And then you could do that a few times just to make sure it's as secure as possible. If you have your own method of making knots, then please do it, because I don't really know if I do mine right, because it kind of just loops over the end. Okay, so now I still have some thread left, so I'm just cutting off that. And to make this even more secure, I'll split it back into two, the thread, and I'm just going to do a knot. Now you could cut off the extra string. And now, yeah, this looks kind of ugly, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So what you're going to do is flip the bag inside out. Now it looks kind of weird like this, so you could take the end of your needle and push out the corners a little more, Oh, my needle just went through. Ah. And you just want to try to make it in a more purse-like shape than rather just like a... Alright, I think mine's a little too skinny, but you just want to make it more into a bag shape because it kind of just curved at the ends because the corners are inside of the bag. But it's a little skinny, but this is how you make the bag. Pretty cute. And I think that was a pretty simple way to do it, and they could even put little things inside. I'm going to make a backpack. So, I actually haven't tested out this design yet, but I'm hoping it works well. So, to make this, you're going to basically do the same concept, except you're going to have to add a step or two. So, we're going to make this into more of a backpack size now. So, I don't want it to be too big. I want it to be good around its back. I think this is a good length. So, I think this I'm going to make it a little wider because the bag, I did it and it didn't come out as wide as I wanted it to when I folded it inside out. So, I'm going to make this a little wider, just a little more than I want it to. Maybe that actually isn't really that good. Ooh. Clean up the edges a little bit. And now we have our backpack shape. Same as before, except a little bigger. Now, let's take a heap of embroidery floss. And we're going to, this stays over there. We're gonna thread our needle and we're going to sew from the bottom of the fold to the top. Okay, so once I reach the top of the fold up here, I'm going to do what I did with the bag, but kind of different. So I'm going to bring this through so it's an appropriate length. Let's see. Seems about good. And this will be our strap for the backpack. Now you should knot the end of your string. And now we're going to repeat that process for the other side of the bag. Okay, so I did the process on the other side. I just realized there's so much going on right here. So yeah, it looks really messy once again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it inside out. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to work. Oh. Okay. So now the straps are actually on the inside. So, I don't know if I can turn this. I don't know if I can turn this one inside out. But it looks really ugly from the outside. Like I said, I wasn't really planning this through very well. So you know what, I'm just going to trim some of these little strings right here. So you know what you could do? Trial 2. I'm going to make the backpack again, but I'm going to do it a little differently this time. So I'm going to fold and cut to an appropriate size. Now you could just sew across each side. Here's one side done, and now we have 2 sides done. Now, unlike what we did last time, I'm now going to turn it inside out. And so if this kind of happens where the corners are inside like we did before for the bag, you could try to push them out. My needle's kind of going through though. Because this felt that I'm using isn't very extremely durable. Okay, so that's probably the best I'm gonna get. I think it looks pretty cute. Now, we have to make the straps. So I thread my needle, and now what we're going to do is, I'm going to go at the bottom. So now there's gonna be a knot. Right there. So now since this is on the outside, we want to make it look kind of pretty, so I'm going to cut this as low as possible without breaking the knot. And now we can go back onto the other side towards the top. And try to work out a strap. Yeah. Okay, so this should be pretty good. Now I'm just going to knot it. I don't think I did that right. Wait, and since I'm not very good at knotting, what I do, since this is embroidery floss, it's pretty thick and easy to use, so I'm going to just knot it a few times. And now we have a handle. Now we're probably going to want another one, so you're going to repeat that onto this side. Okay, so now we have a backpack. You can add little designs, like I said, with our other designs. You could add little designs on it using extra pieces, like you can make like a little pocket like this and sew it in, or you could probably even use glue and you could put that on, and you could have a little pocket on the front, or you can use some extra strings, and you can do whatever you want. You could probably even use markers, draw a little thing on there, you know, whatever you want. Or you could leave them plain. And here are designs. This is trial 1, and this is trial 2. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best of luck making your own mini backpacks and bags. Bye!